I have always hated cleaning. Cleaning has always taken an unreasonable amount of energy and willpower to get done. But last year, everything changed. For the first time, I lived in a studio apartment. It was a special type of torture to be able to see my dish-filled sink from the bed. Any type of mess just felt very claustrophobic, and it forced me to have better cleaning habits. I just see cleaning a little bit differently now. I've accumulated some habits that have made cleaning a lot easier and, dare I say, a little fun. I know, can't believe I just said that. I think we have this idea that we need to clean everything all at once, and I think this makes the act of cleaning feel very intimidating and makes it very easy to put off. But I think what's more realistic for a lot of people is to clean incrementally throughout the day, so it's in more manageable sessions. This habit is something I'll call maintenance cleaning. These are for tasks that are low-hanging fruit, very easy to do in under like 5 minutes. Overall, I would say maintenance cleaning takes up about 80% of my time throughout the week, and then the last 20% is for cleaning that's a little bit more involved and time consuming. Next, I want to talk about cleaning products that have just made my life a lot easier, and it has made cleaning a little bit more enjoyable. I used to hate doing laundry. I honestly think it came down to having a shitty laundry basket. I specifically like these square laundry baskets over the rectangular baskets because it's just easier to hold and it's easier to maneuver through doors. Do not underestimate the power of a good spray bottle. The spray bottles don't have to be expensive. This one is my favorite. It's very satisfying to spray, it doesn't leak, and I would recommend labeling things with masking tape so you're not accidentally spraying bleach where you shouldn't be. The next product is this duster from Swiffer. As a petite 5'1" woman, it helps me get into the hard to reach places. My favorite thing about this is that this can collapse so that you can store it easily in your closet. So next is cleaning the 20%, aka the shitty category of cleaning. This is the category of cleaning that I really struggle with. This stuff takes a lot more time and is usually more nasty, like cleaning the bathroom or deep cleaning the kitchen. I think the reason why I struggle with this category of cleaning so badly is because I get really grossed out by the things that I'm cleaning. But there are a couple of things that I've done to minimize this problem. First is to get ahead of the grossness. I think the key to reducing how nasty something feels to clean is just getting ahead of it before it gets to the point of no return. If you wait until something gets too dirty, it will just make cleaning feel very gross and more mentally demanding. Another thing that has made cleaning feel so much less gross is to have nice gloves. It's very important that you get gloves that are comfortable and fit you properly, because there's nothing worse than cleaning in gloves that are too big or too small. It's a nightmare. And I only really use these two gloves. I have this pair from Casabella. It's lined with cotton and it has an upturned sleeve to catch any water that drips. And then I use these blue nitrile gloves for just general cleaning. Wearing gloves should help you feel less grossed out by what you're cleaning, but if you still struggle with that even with the gloves on, just remind yourself that what you're cleaning isn't actually touching your skin, it's touching the gloves. When it comes to this 20% category, I think it's very tricky to build habits for cleaning around these things because they end up getting dirty at different intervals. I found it really helpful to set recurring calendar reminders of when certain things need to be clean. Now, I wouldn't do this for every single task because I think that can start to feel overwhelming. I would just do this for chores that you tend to neglect and really dislike. For example, I used to have a calendar reminder that repeated every 3 weeks that reminded me to clean my toilet, because I found that around the 3-week mark is when things should be cleaned, but not too dirty to a point where cleaning it felt very dreadful. I'm gonna get a little personal here, and honestly, I think this next thing I'm gonna talk about is the main reason why I wanted to make this video. I used to have a really bad relationship with cleaning because when I was young, my parents were very harsh and forceful when it came to cleaning. I would just feel like a burden to them if things weren't perfectly clean. Later in life, when I had roommates in college, I would just have constant anxiety and stress about not being clean enough and just being really anxious about them judging me because things are a little messy. What I have to say about that now is that cleaning should be a neutral activity. There's such a negative connotation about being messy. What if cleaning doesn't have to be a reflection of your character, but it's just something that you do? Like, it's a neutral activity. It doesn't have to be deep. Like, things are messy temporarily. Like, you'll get around to it and you'll clean. It shouldn't be this thing that you feel guilty about. Since then, my motivations for cleaning have changed. I'm not doing it to avoid being judged. I'm not doing it out of stress, although sometimes I still do that. I'm doing it because it feels good to have a clean space. Cleaning is bigger than just scrubbing the floor or cleaning the dishes. It's about having a space that is functional. Especially after moving to New York, all of the apartments here are so tiny. There really isn't room for messes, because if things are messy, then the function of the space just completely falls apart. I think cleaning for me has been more about creating a space that supports my lifestyle instead of one that gets in the way of it. I mean, this one seems obvious, but I will always play music or a podcast when I'm cleaning. This is a non-negotiable. If I don't listen to music while I clean, I will just be a lot more miserable. I'll even go as far as saving new podcast episodes or new music for those cleaning sessions, so that when the time comes, I'm kind of looking forward to it, because then I get to listen to the new music or new podcast. You can even light a candle every time that you clean, so that you Pavlov your brain into thinking that cleaning is better than it actually is. Just makes cleaning feel a little more stimulating. Every night before I go to bed, I always do a closing shift. This is when I'll do some maintenance cleaning. I'll throw things away, I'll pick things up from the floor. Doing a closing shift just makes the next day feel a lot more pleasant. It just feels very nice waking up to a clean and organized living room or kitchen. It starts the next day off on the right foot. The next thing I want to talk about is adjusting our standards when it comes to how clean we want our place to be. There can be 10,000 different ways that the things in your room can be arranged, but out of all of those configurations, only one is where everything is perfectly put away and organized. I think it's a little bit unrealistic to expect your space to always be in that one state, especially with how much chaos that just happens in life. So while I think it's important to have good cleaning habits, I also think it's important to be realistic and gentle with ourselves if things aren't in perfect order. Because honestly, it's chaotic out here, and we can't expect everything to be exactly where it is at all times. Like, that is crazy. A very popular quote that you'll hear is that you should enjoy the journey and not the destination. But I think cleaning is one of those things where the destination matters more than the journey. I was watching this Michelle Choi video, and she said how cleaning the bathroom was her favorite chore because it gives her the most satisfying results. That was honestly crazy to hear. I really do not like cleaning the bathroom, and I just never thought of it that way. Like, cleaning the bathroom or like deep cleaning the kitchen, you honestly do get very dramatic results. And I just found that to be very motivating, just thinking about the final product instead of like thinking about what I'm cleaning. Alright, so that is all I had for today. Hopefully this was helpful and maybe changed the way you think about cleaning and has made it easier for you guys to clean your homes. Alright, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.